Hello, Bora.
Hello. Hi, Varun.
Hi. I know you're in Dubai, so it's probably good afternoon. But I think for anybody who's listening from or watching us from around the world, it could be yeah, good morning. As we say in the world of Web3, everything is always good morning. For those who don't know us, maybe I'll do my introduction. So I'm Varun. I lead the growth and marketing efforts at Concordium. I've been in the Web3 space for now over 5 years across a variety of projects. I also have with me Borja, who's the founder and CEO of Five Stars. For those who do not know Five Stars, and maybe I'll start and then I'd let Borja introduce it much better than I would. It has over a quarter of million registered users. I think 20,000 or more monthly active users just in the football game. So it's no small player in the Web3 space, but actually it's changing the way how gaming is done on blockchains. Also, Bora is in Dubai. So for many of us who are trying to come out of winters, many more reasons to be jealous of him other than he running a gaming platform. Bora, why don't you take a moment to introduce yourself?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me here, Varun. And yeah, I mean, now we're in the winter. I know that your winter is different in London, but in the coming months it will change. So I will be very jealous of you guys. And yeah, well, thank you guys. As you mentioned, I'm Borja Burguillos. I'm a Spaniard, but living abroad for many years already. I'm the founder of Five Stars. We have founded like several companies within the Web 2 and Web 3 space. And let me tell you a little bit more about Five Stars. Okay, so we are, as you said, we already have more than quarter million registered users, more than 20,000 monthly active users. Five Stars is a sports, predictions. We like to say AI power sports predictions because we have created an agent to help you to make predictions in the platform, plus also fantasy sports. Okay, all in one platform. So this is, I would say, this is why we are different. We have designed, Five Stars to bring fans like deeper, really, into actions and worldwide. So this is, our reach, and our vision is to make Web3 gaming seamless, rewarding, and fun all at the same time. Okay, this is very important for us. It's like bringing on board Web2 users to Web3 because we know that the average sports fan not always probably has the knowledge of Web3 and all these kind of things, but we see really an opportunity to bring them on Web3, despite the fact that maybe they don't even know that this is a Web3 again, right? We wanted to keep it like this, and yeah, this is basically Five Stars.
No, that's great, and obviously, I think everybody has seen a huge amount of news about Five Stars over the last week or so, which is also the reason why I think it'll be good to chat about many things. One, I think you built a company in gaming, so would be wonderful to talk about Web3 gaming evolution, or like you said, like a user doesn't need to know whether it's Web3 or Web2. It's all about like gaming. Also, as a company, you grow. What are the critical scaling challenges? How do you even think about that? Performance, compliance, scalability, especially when you roll out new games and new markets. Uh, and more importantly, I think in the end, we'll spend a little bit of time to sort of take your views on like why you think Concordium is the chain in the next phase of growth journey. So I think that hopefully should be exciting and good conversation. But since Five Stars has a football game and you're a Spaniard, it can become contentious. So what's your favorite club, Bora?
Yeah. Well, only one could be, the best club in the world, of course. I'm from Madrid, so yeah, I guess I answered with this,
Yeah, yeah,
Real
yeah.
Madrid fan.
Well, I'm not sure many people will agree right now. Your biggest rival is already ahead of you in La Liga, and on Champions League, I think Madrid is now behind Barcelona and
We
Atletico.
qualify. We are gonna play the quarterfinals now, and in La Liga we are very very similar as well. So it's gonna be really a super exciting, end of the season.
Yeah.
And yeah, but this rivalry, this is very good actually for football.
Yeah, well, many of us at Concordium are also football fans, especially our founder, Lars Sayers. He's an Arsenal fan. A fun fact about us, in fact, our name has also been inspired by Arsenal's Latin motto, Victoria Concordia Crescet, which
Okay.
basically means victory goes through harmony or consensus. And for the people, I know you know this, but for the people who do not know us, we take a huge pride in having the best science team of the world who's built a very strong consensus layer, kind of very much connected to our brand. Proof of stake, BFT based on hot stuff, which prevents forking because the chain holds and resumes automatically. It ensures that there is a reliability for businesses who are betting on it. Also, when it comes to like things like performance, we have over 2000 TPS, possible 2 to 4 second finality time. Comparing it to even the widely known sort of popular chains like Cardano, Avalanche, Polygon, we're actually pretty good. And I'm sure like this will come up as we talk about, like, how do you think about blockchains and gaming. But maybe that's a good place to start, right? Why blockchains make sense for gaming?
Yeah. Well, for us is something that I do believe, no, that traditional gaming is like centralized, it is restricted, and also, it lacks like true ownership. And those three things, are very important for the gaming community, or are becoming more important thanks to the blockchain technology. Okay, so Web3, right? Blockchain is changing this by allowing the players really to own their assets, the NFTs. Okay. Again, maybe if you are not a Web3, you don't care if this is an NFT or whatever wording, but it's like the cars, for example, that you own in our game. Also, the monetization of engagement, right, as well, through tokens and many other different ways that it wasn't possible in Web2. This is very important as well, because in the end, when we talk about gaming, one thing is fun, but another thing is like, okay, how can I get something in exchange, right? And this is a big incentive, and also as well enjoy a fair gameplay, right? So transparency in the games as well, how things work, even in the kind of governance. This is where we are trying to get, right? It's like, okay, asking the community, how do we really evolve the game, right? So these are the main things that I believe that like Web3 helps to change gaming, and this is where we are already heading towards now.
Yeah, no, well said. Gaming is all about community. Web3 is all about community. In fact, 10 years back, I was part of the core team that launched YouTube Gaming. That product did not survive 10 years, but it made me learn so much about gaming and insights. And one of the things, having spent now time in Web3, there's a huge overlap on audiences also, right? Like blockchain enthusiast and gaming audience are like, there's a big overlap. Obviously, not everybody is a guy in a dark dungeon, which is sometimes kind of perceived as characteristics.
Yeah.
But yeah, huge audience overlap, huge overlap in terms of like thinking about community first, which I think is pretty fascinating. And obviously, you've been thinking about blockchains, and you've been thinking about, like, what game developers look into when choosing the blockchains. What are the critical factors when it comes to sort of how you think, but how broadly the industry thinks?
Yeah. Well, there are many different factors, okay, but in our opinion, I would say that I could categorize like four different, factors that you need to consider in order to create a successful Web3 game.
Yeah.
The first one, of course, is performance, right? It's like nobody wants to play in a game that is slow, right? And it has like low latency, So here how fast the transactions are, especially when you are transacting with on chain, assets. This is very important, super important. The second one as well is the scalability, right? So it's like, it needs to be a chain that again is fast, is reliable. The TPS as well is something very important. Another one, which is one of the reasons, and then we will talk about this later, but that we decided to move to Concordium, is security and compliance. Okay, this is very important. That regulation is coming to the space, not only to DeFi but also to Web3, to GameFi. And well, I mean, we see more and more, if you want to grow globally, there are certain restrictions in certain, jurisdictions that you need to be ready. You want to grow there. So that's why it is important as well, this aspect as well. And as well, the privacy and trust as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
like verifiable on-chain interactions and all these kind of things to ensure there is, again, the fair play, right? Even the audits, you have a token in the game. So all these kind of things, this is what a Web3 gamer is looking for. And I do believe the industry is going really towards that, path.
Yeah, I think you bring in a very interesting point about like throughput. I still remember. You remember those back in the days when we used to have these 486 machines, and sometimes by the time you're like playing that game and you get shot and you're just like using
Yeah.
your keys because the speed was so slow. And you know, is there a very different parameter set when a game achieves a scale, or either in geography or in terms of number of players? Are there like sort of two different parameters in terms of like where you build, but also like in the next phase of growth,
Hmm.
what do you need?
Yeah. So, for example, in 5 stars, as we look to grow, beyond football, because something that, well, I could elaborate a little bit further, right? So we started with football. In football, we started like offering the major tournaments, okay, worldwide, such as the Champions League, Premier League, La Liga. We want to keep adding more tournaments, but also we want to explore, not only explore. We already have launched a contest game for cricket, in collaboration with Star Play. We have done this in the Middle East. This is working actually so far very well. But we want to launch another game with 5 stars branded as well, under the in the same ecosystem. Okay, so because 5 stars in the center will have different sports. So if we want to really keep growing, well, I mean, this is very relevant, right? Because first of all, the governance and all of that, this is very important, for the community. But also, we want to keep growing. For example, functionalities that we can find in Concordium, like the built-in age verification or geofencing, and privacy protecting identity checks. This is very relevant because we find that in some jurisdictions, if you don't verify an user, or you don't verify that the user is, above a specific age, then they cannot play, right? And then it is difficult to have different systems for different, countries. And this is something that, well, if we get into the cricket and if we get in other sports, and we want to reach these 1 million users that we want to capture, in the coming months, we need to do it through the technology, right? And I believe this approach from Concordium will fit very well into this kind of games, right? Especially, again, sports. Not only that, now we are like, a free-to-play game. It is not really related with the sports betting, but we might think about getting into this ecosystem as well. So these kind of functionalities might be really, really relevant.
Yeah, yeah. Well, two great things. One, after football, cricket is the most viewed and has the most number of fans globally. So
That's
I guess you have huge markets to tap. Let me tell you a fun fact, because I'm Indian, and cricket is kind of like deep down. You grow up with cricket, like in Europe and Latin America. You grow with football. The original version of cricket game, you could play it for days and days and you could still not have any result. Now, you think about it, like that is hilariously funny. But as I say, like the cricket, the real lovers of cricket, it's all about the game. It's never about the outcome.
Yeah, it's
But
crazy. I mean, I love it,
yeah,
and we've been following very close, especially
yeah,
because we have launched this contest game in Dubai, and yeah, and we know that now there is a new format, now the T20, to try
yeah,
to short it,
yeah,
And the other day, actually, I went to watch again, and it was like amazing. Yeah, it's like football, right? For
Yeah,
for you guys. And but in the region is growing a lot, and is really, there is a huge opportunity. Probably in terms of opportunity, in size, opportunity is even bigger than football in
yeah,
terms of growth and future, yeah, the potential.
yeah. And what's next? Hockey, tennis, volleyball?
Well, you know what we are in discussions we would like to do? UFC. Imagine like a game, like, because UFC is growing a lot,
Yeah,
especially as well in Middle East, in Spain as well, in Europe is growing
yeah,
a lot. And beyond basketball, that for us that would be, it would make a lot of sense, and
yeah,
even baseball. But UFC, we are close to do something. So imagine that, like you can predict many things about, a different fight. Then there will be NFTs, different, with different rarities about the fighters as well, and you will be able to trade them and compete with others. It could be actually very good, like a different concept, but this is something that hopefully is gonna happen very soon.
yeah. No, I think makes sense. And I think you also brought in a very interesting point about like sort of as you scale, and as you sort of add more things like betting, things like verification are no longer like a good to have. It's a must have, right? And also, if I think about from a user perspective, user doesn't want to go to multiple places and identify themselves in all those places, verify themselves. It's bad UX, ultimately. The good thing about Concordium, we talk about this as private verification, public trust, because while you need to verify, you should protect your privacy, but by allowing for these credential systems to happen, the trust on the overall ecosystem is there. And one thing why we are very unique and try to solve this things differently, most of the blockchains are trying to slap an ID on top, right, using a smart contract. Concordium has it on a protocol level, along with the zero knowledge proofs, so that compliance, privacy, fraud proof credentials, ideally for gaming industry, but more importantly, like you said, like gambling, betting, many industries where verification is quite important, and also across multiple geographies, the solution is far superior. And you and I have been long enough in the industry to see the risk of smart contracts, right? I mean,
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
they are smart contracts, but not necessarily they don't have those risks. Recently, Bybit, what was the number? 1.5 billion, I
I
think.
think it was the largest, no? Yeah, it
Yeah,
was the
yeah, and but also
largest
like
in history, close to 2 billion, I think. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy, right? Like imagine the businesses, the user risk, the risk of regulation, compliance. But it's not just Bybit, like Poly Network, BSC token, CoinCheck, Wormhole. I mean, the list is endless. So that's something I think we fundamentally believe, right, by having identity layer at the protocol level, which allows for this compliance, but also ensuring there are zero knowledge proofs which protect user privacy, which is paramount, right? Not just in the industry, but like as a civilization, we think we're able to solve this problem.
No, especially, I mean, if institutions are coming, right,
Yeah,
to blockchain, governments will come as well. A lot of, governmental, bureaucracy will
yeah,
come, and hopefully it will be get reduced by this technology. So a solution like that, it could really become a really big, an important piece. As Sal is like, okay, I just want to verify myself, and I can do it once, right?
yes,
Because now it's crazy everywhere. Now you
yeah,
need to
yeah,
verify all the time, everywhere. So
yeah,
so this is really an important piece.
yeah.
If well, I mean, if you guys get it done, and we continue to grow this
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah, and I also don't want to hand over my my identification to every possible site on the world, because I don't know what they do with that, which is also one of the things
Absolutely.
we're
That's one of the point, that's why this is a friction.
yeah,
It's a big friction actually for the crypto world as well, right? It's like, okay, if I need to, like, show my passport or my ID to any single, like a platform, because if they get regulated, and then it's like I don't want to share my personal stuff to everyone. So this is really important. If there is a solution where you just need to do it once, and then it is encrypted, right, and all of that, so it is protected, and nobody really should know about you. They just should know if you are above or below a specific age, or if you are from this nationality or another, because they just need to validate the specific regulation, right, on that jurisdiction. This is for me super important, and I mean, I think it's coming. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I guess to $1 million or maybe $1 billion question, because everybody's been reading news, and then everybody's probably even on this stream is wondering, like, what made you move from Scale, which is an EVM based change, onto Concordium, and why now?
Well, that's a very good question, no? I think it is a combination of what I mentioned earlier, right? So it's like we needed a blockchain that balances, the performance, compliance, and scalability, especially for this next phase of the project, right? So because in the end, as now we are, at this growth stage where we want to really conquer the world, and we want to launch more sports, and then we want to get into, deeper into sports betting and all of that. And this is something that we couldn't find regrettably in other, not only in Scale, but in other blockchains as well, right? So, and as regulation is tightened, gaming platforms, and we see this, in many places, then really the Concordium, these built-in solutions that you guys provide, especially for the identity verification and security, this is what it triggers, for us, the momentum of, okay, let's switch, because if we don't do it now and then we need to do it later, it's going to be even more painful, right? And so, yeah, this is, I would say, the main reason why we decided to move and migrate the project to you guys.
Okay, no more headaches then. That's probably like how you're thinking, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, regulation kills the project. Well, we know that very well in Europe, right? That we are the masters of regulations, and we regulate things even before they exist, right? So, so that this is difficult, right? Because especially when you are at in this stage where you need to grow, you need to try things. You don't even know things that work better, or and work worse. And then it kills you, because it requires a lot of efforts, and really build up a team to do this. While if we have a technology doing it, is really, I mean, it's a game changer for us.
Yeah. And also it's great for players, right? Smoother gaming experience, faster transactions, my privacy is protected, more monetization opportunities for the platform, because, like you sort of talked about, right? Like, you could add on things, betting, other features which can be added. So yeah, completely get it. What's next? Now, a 250,000 users. I already have heard 1 million users multiple times, so I'm sure it's happening. Cricket game seems to be on the agenda. What does the next 12 months look like? And I asked 12 months because in our world, 12 months is a decade, right?
Yeah. Well, any project that could tell you more than 12 months, they are just, painting the sky. But yeah, no, I mean, our goal is really, I mean, I do believe that we have really cracked, the way of bringing users on board, and then it is about really retaining them, right? And of course, well, you need to invest in rewards. We have launched a token, okay, 5 stars token. This is very important because it is really it will be the token that will rule the whole ecosystem. And it opens up, for us many different ways of not only monetization, but as well offering different things to the users. So now we have created different tiers, based on how much 5 stars tokens you are holding in your wallet. So based on that, you have different benefits. You have, different perks in the game. Plus, as well, you can stake your token. This is very important. So, and we want to grow, the number of users. We want to reach that, milestone of 1 million users, and grow with it, the token, the value of the token, but especially the number of the users, the number of the token holders. And then we want to keep adding more sports. As we said, that cricket is almost there. Probably other like major sports such as basket and the other opportunities, maybe like the UFC. And last but not least, we are exploring this kind of sports betting, ecosystem. It is difficult because, again, then we need to get license, and we need to operate in a different way. But this is something that we would like to get there as well. At least to have a more clarity, path about this in the coming 12 months. And yeah, I would say that this is pretty much all. A lot of efforts in order to get there. Technology efforts, investing, in really on the users. This is mainly about the users. Keep them happy, listen the users to make sure that we keep building something that they like. Okay, there are many solutions out there, but we want to really become the place where the sports fans, can make money at the same time that they have fun, and the same time they're competing and all of that. And yeah, I would say that these are the main goals that we have for the 2025, beginning 2026.
Yeah. No, I'm excited because you're gonna also put Concordium chain with a test with so many on-chain transactions going up. But I'm sure, like, if our science team is listening to this, they're like, oh, we're solved for that. Don't worry about that at all. But I do expect a lot of gamers will start like transacting. So, which I think is good, because that's kind of like where the blockchains meet the real world. And we move away from speculation and other things, which I think, unfortunately, many in the industry kind of got hooked onto. So that's very good to hear.
Good.
Cool.
And what about Concordium? You
Oh,
have
yeah.
any dates?
Yeah, Concordium. Yes. Well, lots is happening, as you know. You would have heard and known, and I mean, but many people know we have a completely new executive team, which has taken over late last year, and I think our thinking is quite simple. We're not a blockchain for speculators or for meme coins, or we're not looking to become a solution, looking for a problem. We're here to solve real world problems. And take the gaming industry, but take the broader industry. There are like 50 million DApp users today in our world, less than a billion crypto holders. But there are 5.5 billion people on the internet, right? And many of them have the access. And this is where I think we think Concordium would solve for bridging the Web 2 and the Web 3 world. So last month we had our tech roadmap revealed and strategy in a town hall. For anybody who's missed it, they should definitely go and listen to that. We also have another town hall coming probably late next month, where we'll bring in new updates and new things and new topics. I think particularly for this topic that we're talking about, I think our role as a platform is to sort of create that frictionless environment for businesses and platforms like you, as a gaming IP, but also gamers. From an experience perspective, like you keep talking about, and I've seen it also, how you've done it really, really well, is like the idea of single sign-on, right? Users should not know, where they're coming from, what they're doing, but they sign on, and they continue to play, and which is what we are thinking about, like very, very in a very thoughtful way. So users come on, but their privacy is protected by zero knowledge proofs. I think you talked about geofencing for controlled access. I think our
Correct.
ID and ZKP frameworks allows for that geofencing capabilities, where verification access is there, but at the same time, like, user privacy is protected, and you can scale it around the world, right? You could be in Argentina, you could be in Japan, you could be in India, and you can sort of unlock things basis, what is possible. The other thing which we sort of mentioned, in our town hall, is the idea of one click verify and buy. right? So we're building that verify and buy feature, so which will allow a platform to confirm, a customer age, for example, for age restricted purchases, without storing personal data, right? And this again, we do it through ZKP. Reduces compliance cost for business, reduce liability risk, fraud exposure, and at the same time, for a user, it's frictionless privacy transaction experience. So I think that's another thing. And then another thing we are building is enhanced permission management. So on top of Concordium's ID layer, there is a tooling suite called Web3 ID, which I think which what that allows is more complex issuance, right, and permission management of verified credentials. Now this is W3C standards for managing digital certificates. So again, in the space of verification, scalability, I think you said compliance, performance, scalability. I couldn't have put this better in terms of what Concordium is. So if it goes on the website, Bora, you know where it came from
Yeah,
in the coming weeks. But yeah, lots is happening. So for anybody who's kind of keen, they should follow us on X. Keep an eye on Town Hall, potentially for late next month. Also, it's a good moment to bring governance. I know you touched upon governance and community. So last year, we introduced the first phase of governance framework, and where there is a governance committee which is formed. Now that comprises of tech experts, entrepreneurs, community members, and new members are chosen every year based on community voting. So we're very much around community first. If I may say, I think as a committed member of the community, you're building your business on the blockchain. I think it'll be a great idea for you to nominate yourself for the next elections. If I'm not mistaken, they're in June, July. Obviously you need to win, right, and the community decides whether you win, but the nominations, and then you can campaign. But once you win, and if you're part of the governance committee, you can help shape the future of what we build, how we build, which I think is in the true spirit and ethos of how the blockchain works. So I don't
yeah.
know.
I heard about that, and as a Web3 builder, I I think I'm going to try to join the committee because
Yeah,
I believe that I see a huge opportunity to contribute basically
yeah,
to the evolution of the governance framework of Concordium,
yeah,
especially in relation with this regulatory compliance, adoption, and gaming expansion. So we could really help on what do we need, from the gaming perspective, beyond what you already have achieved, where should we go, right? In which way?
yeah.
And yeah, I will try to present my candidature, and let's see if they vote me. But I will try to join because I do believe I could add a lot of value.
No, I would absolutely agree, and I think the nominations probably will open next month, or in May. I'm not sure about the dates, but very very soon. And like I said, the governance committee ultimately is meant to be experts from various fields: technology, entrepreneur, community members who really care about the future of blockchain and can bring what the community wants onto the table, which I think is super important. Um, cool. I think we're pretty much over time, Bora. I know. There is a lot more conversations that we'll end up doing, uh, but any closing thoughts? Anything that you'd want people to take away?
No, for me, what I would like to say that like, let's try to build up really, or keep building, like a massive game together. I believe that we can unlock really new possibilities for millions of players worldwide, and we are excited about that. And let's really bring the next 1 billion users to Web3. But as you said, I mean, the real users, right? Like, let's forget about this kind of bullshit meme coins and all these kind of things. That's fine. There are other chains for this, but this is really serious stuff, right? And we are very very motivated to do it. I know that you as well are, guys. And yeah, I mean, let's go in on this journey, and let's hope that we win the Champions League as well as a
Yeah.
Real Madrid fan.
Yeah, with that spirit of let's go, I just wanted to leave a few things for people to sort of remember. One, people should check out 5 Stars IO. Anybody who hasn't sort of been on the platform, when I got introduced, I've been sort of trying to do many things. I'm pretty bad right now, but the intention is to get good. I've also cheekily introduced it to my 9-year-old. She can see she's not playing yet, but that's there. Also, I mean, there are lots of exciting things happening on Concordium, so do follow us on X. I know we are not able to take the Q&As, so we should take that on Discord. And I'm sure like the 5 Star teams would be happy to answer any questions coming from community or otherwise on their thinking, on their ideas, but also on their decisions. So maybe we can do something on Discord as a follow up, which I think would be good. But yeah, Bora, always good to catch up with you. And then yeah, let's continue this, and all the best on building on Concordium. And yeah, let's get those million users pretty soon.
Exactly. Thank you, guys.